is that sound?
Hello folks, welcome back to Marvelous Videos. Today we're looking into the mysterious sirens and their alluring calls. Sirens are described as wicked, demonic creatures of the sea with enchanting voices that invite sailors to their doom. Their songs dig into the deep subconscious of their audience and promise them everything they ever wanted. With promises of love, fame, wealth, wisdom, and thrones, sailors are lured into the sirens' grasp, where they meet their inevitable deaths. What are these creatures? Is there any truth to their existence? Without further ado, let's start answering these questions. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The mythological origins of sirens. Greek mythology offers an array of stories about the origins of sirens and why they murdered the sailors who heard their songs. Sirens first appeared in the epic poem Odyssey by Homer, where they were starting to sing to Odysseus and his men. Odysseus orders all his men to stuff beeswax in their ears, and, curious to hear what they sing about, he has his men tie him to the mast of his ship. He commands them not to untie him no matter what he says till they pass the sirens, and no longer hear their songs. As he hears their songs, Odysseus demands to be untied, but his men remain unperturbed, and they only untie him after the sirens are no longer audible. Although Homer's literary work is the earliest to mention sirens, he does not explain their birth or behavior. Sophocles explains that in some myths, they are the daughters of Phorcys, the sea god, but in other myths, their father was the river god Aeschylus. Their parentage is highly debated among scholars of Greek mythology, as some believe that one of the 9 muses, the inspirational goddess of literature, science, and arts, is their mother. Calliope, the muse of eloquence and epic poetry. Terpsichore, the muse of dance and chorus. And Melpomene, the muse of tragedy, are all highly favored candidates in this debate. In contrast, some others believe that their mother is Sterope, Calydon's princess and King Porthion's daughter. What led them to their fate at sea, inviting sailors to their watery deaths? One explanation is given by the Roman poet Ovid. These sirens were the caretakers of Persephone, the daughter of the goddess of harvest and agriculture, Demeter, and the king of gods, Zeus. Hades, the god of the dead and the king of the underworld, falls in love with the beautiful Persephone and kidnaps her. When Demeter finds out, she curses the sirens to spend the rest of their lives at sea, as they didn't prevent the abduction from happening. If any mortal continues to live after they hear the song of the sirens are cursed to die. It's also said that after Odysseus survives hearing their song, they kill themselves. Another legend states that the sirens were arrogant maidens who were very proud of their singing and challenged the 9 muses to a singing competition. The muses win the competition, and as punishment for their hubris, condemn them to spend their lives at sea. Odysseus is not the only hero who survived an encounter with the deadly seductress. In Argonautica, written by Apollonius Rhodius, Jason the hero encounters his sirens, but his bard, Orpheus, pulls out his lyre and starts performing louder. His song drowns out the song of the sirens, and Jason and his men successfully avoid their watery deaths. These sirens were believed to reside in Sirenum Scopuli, a collection of 3 small islands with sharp rocky terrain on the shores of Italy.
Lord, save me.
The enchanting seductresses and their powers. What do these sirens look like? Homer definitely didn't want us to answer that question, as he did not go to the trouble of describing them in the Odyssey. They were originally believed to be half women and half birds, with faces and sometimes torsos of women, and the rest of their bodies similar to birds. They resembled the harpies of Greek mythology. Later art showed these creatures with features of both birds and fish. They had a fish tail, along with wings and bird legs. Art believed to be of the 6th or 7th century portrays them like mermaids with bodies of women to their waist and a huge fish tail. This is perhaps where the origin of mermaids in the form we know came about. Interestingly, there are mythical explanations for this. In the lore of Persephone, Demeter is believed to have given them wings so they can search for her kidnapped daughter, but she takes them back once she realizes they have not stopped Hades. So according to this story, they were born with a fish tail and temporarily gained wings. In the story of the competition against the muses, they were born with wings and a feathered body, but when the muses won, they plucked their feathers out to make crowns for themselves. We already know that their singing skill is next only to the muses, but did you know that they can also play musical instruments? According to mythographer Apollodorus, while one siren sang, the others played flutes and lyres to accompany it. In some other versions of the mythology, sirens have inhuman strength. As they sing their enchanting songs, the sailors are lured to a deep sleep, and taking advantage of their unconsciousness, they climb aboard and tear them to pieces. Explaining the terrible siren song. Many scholars have tried to explain the origin of the sirens with scientific explanations. Before the invention of compasses and other modern sailing equipment, sailing away on a ship meant nothing less than gambling away one's life. Weather, as unpredictable as the sea, would constantly work against sailors who had to endure it, along with other unknown perils that lived in the water. Many sailors did not return home, and the stories of sirens provided a consolation to the grieving family. Like mermaids, sirens could have also originated from the imaginations of the bored and lonely sailors who spent days at sea with no female company. Siren songs were effective warnings to men who dreamed of sea travels, either to stop them from going on this hazardous journey or as a reminder to keep their desires and distractions at bay. A distracted sailor could lead his men away from their lives, as hidden reefs and mist-covered land are deadly obstacles to ships. Sirens in modern pop culture and folklore. Modern pop culture barely differentiates sirens and mermaids, as they are both considered alluring sea women. Their transformation from deadly sirens to benevolent mermaids who protect the sea and sailors shows the growing love towards sea travel. An oceanic journey is no longer mysterious, nor is it deadly, and from there comes the idea of the mermaids. Disney popularized the idea of the mermaid with its 1989 adaptation of Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale Little Mermaid. Ariel, the red-haired teenage mermaid, is seen yearning for a life outside the sea, and makes a deadly deal with the sea witch Ursula to fulfill her wish. Ariel's voice is important to the plot of the movie, as she's expected to win over Prince Eric without it to have human legs permanently. This wasn't the first appearance of a siren or mermaids in movies, but it's definitely the most popular. On Stranger Tides, the fourth film in the Pirates of the Caribbean series, portrays sirens in perhaps the most mythically accurate way. As famed pirates Jack Sparrow and Blackbeard sail aboard the ship named Queen Anne's Revenge to seek the Fountain of Youth and encounter mermaids. Although they're called mermaids in the movie, they sing songs and attack the sailors much like sirens. They successfully capture one of them, Sirena, as a mermaid's tear is required to finish the ritual to gain youth. As Sirena is left to die, Philip Swift, a captured mercenary, saves her and they fall in love. Sirena kisses him, thereby granting him the ability to breathe underwater, and takes him with her. Sirens and mermaids have become indistinguishable thanks to modern media, and many movies explore the dichotomy of evil sirens and lovable mermaids. This dichotomy is best seen in the 2015 musical horror film, The Lure. Originally released in Polish as Daughters of Dancing, the movie is centered around two mermaids named Golden and Silver, who get employed in a strip club as strippers and backup singers. While Silver longs to experience true love from a human, Gold intends to feast upon them. The Japanese horror movie Siren, released in 2006, follows the story of an island cursed by a siren. The 2018 television series Siren follows the story of Wren Fisher, a siren who's looking for her kidnapped younger sister. The popular fantasy horror drama True Blood also featured mermaids. Although there are many movies titled Siren, released in the early 2000s, they use the word to mean seductress and do not represent mythical creatures. For example, the 2013 movie titled Siren is about a woman with powerful pheromones. Movies like these isolate the seductive features of the siren and do not give justice to the complete lore of their existence. Marvelous verdict. Although modern media doesn't differentiate between sirens and mermaids anymore, I hope with this information you can confidently identify a mermaid or a siren when you see one. Their songs are believed to haunt the seas at night, and their representation has gone from mere singing women to a symbol of female empowerment and independence. What do you think a siren would sing to you about? Let us know in the comments. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.